All right, first off, apologies for the raw form in this review. As you can see on screen, I am so close to finishing part 2 for Friday the 13th Flaw and All review. I think we're going to change the name to Flaw vs. All review. It makes more sense now that I think about it. Because in order to get the cinema score, we take the flaws, the negatives, versus the good stuff, the awes. So flaw versus awe, and then that's how we come up with our cinema score. Anyway, part 2 is any day now, maybe Tuesday. It depends on when they're going to clear it on YouTube. Where's my screen? And then part 3 is a week behind that. Part 4, I'm doing everything in my power to get it all done by the end of April. So we're going to have 3 Flaw and All reviews, fire, quick, bam, 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 until the end of April. Anyway, so Fear the Walking Dead, I won't be able to do a live stream. This is going to be a bit raw, like I said, because I want to take an extra hour or two tonight to do some other editing stuff for part 2 for Friday the 13th, coming soon. Anyhow, Fear the Walking Dead this season has actually been pretty solid. Now, I said I would stop because the season before this was just terrible. But this season, and it's tricky because when I really think about it, even though when I watch these as a one-off episode, I enjoy it. Am I ever going to go back and rewatch them like I did some of the other Walking Dead seasons 1 to 6 or so, where I watch them and I can rewatch them anytime? I don't think I'll ever go back and rewatch these, just because the overall story is just whack. From where they went from the first season to now, there's so many seasons in between that are just terrible. But Fear this season has been doing really good. This episode also was fire, except for a couple main things. Every now and then, there's this really sloppy way of storytelling, and I'm going to show you a perfect example before I forget. It's spiced throughout the episode, but also there's the artificial tension, friends versus friend type crap, where Strand, I said this weeks ago, they tried to hype it up like, ooh, what is Strand going to do? He's not going to turn on the guys. And even if they had Strand turn on the guys for like his own guys for some type of cool like reveal, oh, look, it's bold, it's different, it would be stupid because he's been there since the end of season 1. It doesn't make any sense with the bonding and his closeness with Madison and then Alicia. It just doesn't make no damn sense. Now, so there's that stuff. Then Dwight and his girl, and even at the end where Sherry is arguing for the people that have more of a hatred for Virginia. That part I thought was just absolutely asinine, because Sherry's the girl that's in there because of her connection with Dwight. And that's the whole reason the group is there. However, the group is the one with the grievance against Virginia. So why would they send somebody who has nothing to do with it outside of the fact that her ex-boyfriend is in with the group? Maybe that's it, but at the very minimum, a representative that mass group should have came with Sherry, because that line of hers at the end, again, it's so sloppy and forced, because she's like, I don't know what she said. We'll go back and look, but she was like, Virginia hurt so many of these people. They want revenge. And it's like, why aren't they down here? Where's their representative? Anyway, but again, like, there's real good stuff. Like the beginning of this. Oh, and the third thing was the end we're going to cover in depth. They missed a massive opportunity with Dakota and Virginia, and I thought they were going in that direction, and then I thought, they're not going to do that. And in my head, I'm thinking, once Dakota revealed that she's actually once Virginia revealed she's actually Dakota's mother, I was thinking, oh shit, Dakota killed John, and then she's going to reveal it's her mother. They're going to, Morgan can't kill them, because it's Morgan, so he's going to let them go. They're going to have this hope and this hope for a better future. And now Dakota, all that, anger she had towards her, what she thought was her sister, it's going to kind of break the walls down a little bit, because now she gained a mother, and there's a whole new outlook on what her future could be. And it's going to be tough, but there's a potential they can bond in the future. But then, because of what happened to John, June is going to clap Virginia, maybe even in front of Dakota. That's what I'm thinking the moment Virginia admits that Dakota is her daughter, and then they started going a direction where I was like, oh, never mind, they're not going to do any of that, because they were talking and it didn't seem like they were really kind of tearing down the walls. Their dialogue was kind of, again, sloppy, and I felt disconnected. Even though the acting from the girl who plays Virginia, she's a good character actress. She was in The Boys, and she's just real good at these roles. Even though you hate Virginia, like, I can't stand Virginia, the actor's doing a good job with Virginia. I mean, a really good job. I think she's probably one of the best as far as acting and range and all that. And again, because you look at the character and you see that hatred for Virginia, that annoyance, that just, Virginia is disgusting. But that's not the actor herself. You know what I mean? She just did a lot right with the role. Anyway, so then I thought they were going to do that, but then they did do that, but they didn't capitalize on it. Like, Dakota runs into the room and all that. But anyhow, part of the sloppy writing... easy now. I punched it. Actually, I just touched it with my finger a little bit on the spring, and that shit was like it's going to explode. Anyway, so you press the little button here, and I'm going to show you a scene. So she gets clapped in the shoulder. And in the beginning of this, I'm like, oh, that's fire. Morgan shows up. The repetitive stuff is, again, another frustrating thing where they even market it as, oh, Fear's Negan lineup. Like, we want to do that again, you know, and not because it was bad on The Walking Dead, but just because we don't want to keep doing shit that we've already done on the main show, we've already done in the video games, we've already done in the spin-offs. There's a number of fresh ideas out there, and they just keep regurgitating the same shit they've already given us in another medium with this franchise. So sure, they have the lineup, and I'm annoyed the whole time because no one's going to die. It's all artificial tension. So she gets clapped. At this point, I'm thinking, yo, this is fire. This is a fire beginning, right? And then out of nowhere, and this is where the sloppiness gets into play, and they know that it's sloppy because it's in between edits. You'll never find this shit on screen because the filmmakers know. The director knew. That's a stupid scene. Or at least they had to. They had to know. What's her name's down? She's down. She got clapped in the shoulder. That shit hurt. She already lost her arm like, what, a week ago? Maybe 2 weeks ago? I mean, that shit hurt, right?
This is all that has to happen.
It's all that has to happen. I agree. This guy comes up. He's kind of pissed. This is Virginia's simp. And I feel like I'm going to mess up some names. I already know I am. Virginia. So all of a sudden, she's on her feet. She's got grace. She's got a gun to her head. This girl just took a bullet to the shoulder. Everyone's all like focused on, you know, what's going on here. And she was able to go from being on her knees, gun on the ground, to I'm going to pick up the gun and I'm going to take the pregnant lady hostage. This shit is often scattered throughout Fear the Walking Dead's writing as a whole, even for the good episodes. Like, I am overly positive, even though I'm picking out some negatives, with the episode, because I thought they did good. When he came in, here's another, June, Barry and John, and then going over the grief. It ends with June, begins with June. I'm sorry, it begins with June, ends with June. I dig that shit. Morgan shows up, he has this speech, and he says something badass like, your time is up. But the editor or the director, I don't know if the director didn't do the shots. He didn't pick up any shots of Morgan actually saying the lines. It would be the equivalent, maybe not the equivalent of, but it's similar to, imagine if, like, I'm directing Breaking Bad, and the moment where Walter White is like, someone knocks and you think I'm in danger, I am the danger. Imagine if I directed that, but when Walter White says I am the danger, I cut to, like, his son eating pancakes. You know what I'm saying? They have this scene where Morgan says something beefy and badass. However, they cut away from him for most of it. He's not in the shot at all. Like, not even at all. They're looking at some random B character over here. Let me move this off screen so I can pull that up and... Where's it at? Oh, I failed.
Shoot you. Everything you are.
Right here. Wait.
Everything you were. Everything you had is gonna get stripped. Any of my friends.
They're supposed to scare me, Morgan?
Here we go. move this over. He's like, listen, you're done.
Riding in here dolled up like a meal.
Well, you should be
He's like, you should be scared.
scared.
Why's that?
They're going to clip me if I play too much, but
Because it's over for you.
it's over for you. You know, you focus on Morgan, that's good. I was wrong, though. They focus on Virginia through the whole time, which I think sticking with Morgan and then kicking it over to Virginia probably would have been optimal, but he says this badass line.
Everything you are, everything you were.
Yeah, and it's like, as he's saying it, the first time I'm watching it, I'm like, you know, kind of hyped it. I'm like, why the fuck is Morgan not on screen? And Lenny James is a bomb-ass actor. Why is that line? Like, what? That could have been clipped. It could have been shared. I mean, sure, you can still kind of clip it and share it now, but it's like, no.
Everything you had is going to get stripped away.
Now, you could have shot it over to Virginia, and I'm talking about as a fan. As a fan, I would have been like, I would have been in the moment with Morgan, and then you shoot it over to Virginia right as he says it'll be stripped away, and you kind of can see that just fear wave over her. I don't know.
That's scary.
I don't know. Sure, go back to Morgan where it's just nodding his head.
I know.
Some of that sloppy stuff. I don't know. So, look, all right, they have this ordeal that I thought was actually okay. I did think it was kind of stupid where 2 times, you know what? I tell you what, you know what's funny? I got a lot more negatives rolling around in my head than I remembered when I was watching it. When I was watching it, I was often like, okay, this is good, 5 minutes, and then something real stupid would happen. And then, oh, man, this is good, 5 minutes, and then something stupid would happen. Like, what's her name steals Grace in a real sloppy way. And then, what's his name? Strand is like, Morgan, don't take her. Come on. Strand's not smart enough to go, wait, what's going on? Oh, she got Grace. All right, we'll figure it out. We'll get her back. You know, we'll make a deal. And, you know, because obviously you say you're going to make a deal, lock Virginia up. When you're off to the side, you say, all right, listen, we're going to make a deal. But at the end of this, she's going to die. You know, it's all right, well, let's just get Grace back. And then you guys can do whatever you want. So you start out there. They do it multiple times. They do it with Strand, they do a getaway. And then when they're here out of nowhere, I guess because of the walkie-talkies, Virginia's a dope dummy for, I don't remember her being this stupid, but she just gives away their location on the walkie. And Morgan gives her a look kind of like, bitch, why would you do that? Are your own crew going to come after me? That was kind of a stupid thing to do, kind of like this paranoid look. But yet they just forget all about these masked people, and the masked people light up the car, just light it all to hell. They do a little getaway. Morgan and her have even a good banter where he's like, can you run? And he's like, I'm not even asking. And then the next time she's like, are you still asking? And again, it's nothing like award winning, but it's nice. And then you got Sherry popping up, and this again, just dumb how they talk. He's like, if she dies, a lot of people I care about is gonna die. Morgan, what are you talking about? Just say, hold on, she snatched Grace. You know, you kill her, they're gonna kill Grace. We need to just get Grace back, and then we're good. We can continue on. They don't talk like normal humans. They do, because again, when they teach you screenwriting, and I'm only guessing at this point why the dialogue is kind of ass backwards. It's either one of 2 reasons. One is because they know. Bam. One is because they know, well, if the character says something reasonable, Sherry's going to seem real stupid if she ignores it. But also, they don't want to keep repeating stuff that the audience already knows. So why Morgan didn't show up and say, hold up.
I don't know you. You're not from one of my franchises. But I know you.
Yeah, I don't know you. She has, like, no skin in the game.
Die.
You're just as bad as she is, more.
And then we got that stupid dialogue. Some of this is kind of dumb. But yeah, she snatches Virginia and they roll. They go to his settlement, his community. Strand shows up with them. And again, it's still interesting, but it is a little frustrating because it's like zero tension. Maybe you guys had some tension, but there was no way in hell I'm going to believe anything bad is going to pop off with the groups that are so connected like Sherry and Dwight, Strand and Alicia. Just no way. Morgan slams his gives a little speech and slams his little spear. I did think that was ballsy of Virginia too. And again, these are character traits where I'm like, yo, I can respect it. She's like, yeah, I did wrong, but for my daughter, I'm going to lay my life down. He slams his pole into the thing, says we're not going to kill. This part I was, again, about the repetition. They're doing the Negan shit all over again. And at this point, I'm thinking they can't do this. They can't. They just copied the Charlie killing John. They just copied the Negan lineup. Now they're doing the all-out war ending where they're going to imprison the female Negan. They got it. And she was a leader of communities, and she ran it like a tyrant. Like, holy shit, I'm getting fed up with the repetitive stuff. But in the back of my mind, I knew it was too close. It was copying The Walking Dead, but it was too close. There's no way they're going to do it. There's no way. But she's a good actor. I can still see her, a character actor. I could still see her being on the show as like a villain getting redemption. You know what I mean? But there's no way. You shouldn't do that. The dialogue between them didn't really seem to hit. And I think that's because my expectations were to build those closer. And then here's where the coup de grace, is that a right term for it, where this should have been the moment where I forgot her name again, Dakota comes around the corner, and Sherry leaving Dwight as well. I don't know why she's even back. I like the actor. She, gives off a good charm to her. I don't know. And her and Dwight together, might as well. You brought him here looking for Sherry. Put them together. Now, if they're going to have something where the communities are still interacting, so Sherry's still going to be in it, just not living with him right away, okay. But I feel like that was just a little bit of a weak way to quickly move Sherry off because she's still connected with the group. And I still feel like they could have done something. A few more sentences in there, and they would have been good. Strand goes back to his community, and it does seem like it feels like a finale, but this is actually structured to be a premiere, don't forget. John dies in what was supposed to be the finale. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I keep hitting you. And then this was going to be the premiere to kick off the second half. But for some reason, for me, it feels like a finale. But it's everyone's going their own ways, so there's a continuation of some type of story. So June is in here patching her up, and she's not having it, which I thought was great at this moment. She turns around. She's like, why did they have that moment? You did everything you could for your daughter, because June tells her about how she had a daughter. And
Question before. June, why did
I don't know if she just decided because she was walking away. But once she claps her, that's where I was like, bro, they're going to bring Dakota in. And imagine how that's gangster as shit. Like that's tough. That's deep. That cuts deep. Dakota comes in. That's if they would have had them bond a little more. I still think it's a tough ending. I dig it. I'm happy with it. I'm glad Virginia went out that way. I'm glad June did it. Pops on John's hat. Good with it. But I just still can't get over how they missed this. Here's Dakota in the background. A gunshot went off. June she's out. I think it better not be, but something about that blood looks so weird. I don't think it's fake. It's CGI blood. I think it is practical. It's just something about it looks weird. Here's where they have what's her name come in. Yeah, see? All right, so Dakota was back here, and she already said, oh, no. And then she runs in, and we have this blurred angle where right from here, it should have moved in on her, being just gutted. And again, because that's so fucking tight because of what Dakota did. Or if you think about it, what Virginia did and how she raised Dakota and how Dakota saw that you just kill your problems. And it began with Virginia, shifted over to Dakota. Dakota's actions created what June would do to come back around onto Dakota by killing her mother. And look, but that's all they do. But, why would you leave that opportunity? Even if you pick it up in the next episode and Dakota's like just shivering and gutted from it, you just got rid of that opportunity that should have been there in this moment. But anyhow, I still think this is fire. Leave me some thoughts and opinions down below. I got to get going. I am sorry that this review was a bit raw and rough, but thoughts and opinions below, and we'll do a stream coming up sometime, so hang in there though. But maybe we'll discuss if the next episode of Fear's good as well. We'll talk about that also this week for sure. Friday the 13th part 2, and don't forget Doomsday Kingdom is still available on Indiegogo. We got a few more copies we're cleaning house with. You order it and it ships in a couple days after that, probably a day or two, but nothing longer than that. All right, I'm out of here.